How do you ease yourself into accessibility testing? I've been reading the WCAG docs, but find them very hard to comprehend. Me too. Are there any guides that are a bit easier for a beginner? Irony of the WCAG docs not being accessible. Anyway, yeah, what do you think? Any easy guides to help a beginner accessibility tester?
Well, yeah, there probably are easy guides. Again, there's nothing that jumps out other than the things that I've mentioned previously. So AD does a lot of good stuff to try and break things down into easy chunks. So I would definitely say that I speak to AD because that's been AD's focus is trying to build manageable chunks around accessibility that make it a little bit clearer and breaking it down into its component parts. He's got a great, I think it's a quadrant, isn't it, AD? I'm sure he'll drop a message on. I think the important thing, this is part of why we did that emotional exercise that I talked about earlier, because we were trying to understand it in the context of our own software, because there's a whole load of guidelines out there. And as Paul says, it's just a list of things which have some words around them. I'm going to hold my hands up now and say I've only looked at the CAG docs, WCAG docs, about a handful of times, purely because I feel like they distract me a little bit, and a lot of the tools, the automated tools, cover those a chunk of those things to a more or less a degree. So I would say start by thinking about your product and thinking about the users. It sounds like a bizarre thing to say, but think about how you would use it if you had a visual impairment. So close your eyes and just and think and try a screen reader. I find practically trying to do stuff and trying to test the site, I find that a really good starting point. I think when I start looking at a site and trying to find things in it, it helps me to understand it rather than following a list of guidelines. I'll go in and I'll think. I think you've got to start from the point of saying, what are the things that will stop this being accessible? What are the areas? So things like visual impairments, audio challenges, neurodiverse challenges, the various different contexts around accessibility, and look at your product and have a think about those things in the context of your product. Because I think the danger is you go off and you learn a load of stuff that has very little relevance to what you're trying to achieve. What you're trying to achieve is understanding your product and understanding how accessible it can be. So yeah, go and play with the product. Learn accessibility by using your own product and trying to understand how it would apply. Have conversations with people, and we just talked about it. If there are people you can talk to who use accessibility features, have a conversation with them. I talk to people all the time, and I'll get people to play with a product. If I put a new change to a website, or if I'm testing something, I'll get a second pair of eyes on it. Well, I'll have a conversation about it because I'll learn so much more by getting hands-on with something.